Have you ever met someone and just instantly clicked? They weren't trying to impress you, they weren't putting on a show, but you just found yourself drawn to them. What if I told you that this isn't some magical gift, but a skill you can learn? A psychological trick that allows you to be genuinely liked without feeling like you're trying at all. This isn't about manipulation or pretending to be someone you're not. In fact, it's the exact opposite. It's about tapping into the fundamental principles of human connection that make people feel seen, valued, and understood. The core secret? It's shifting your focus from, how can I get them to like me, to, how can I genuinely connect with them? When you make that one simple switch, everything changes. So what's the first step? It's something called the spotlight effect. We all tend to believe that we're the main character in everyone else's movie. We worry that people are judging our every word, our outfit, our awkward laugh. But the truth is, everyone is too busy worrying about their own spotlight to pay that much attention to yours. Realizing this is incredibly freeing. It means you can relax. You don't have to perform. When you walk into a room, instead of thinking, "What does everyone think of me?" try thinking, "I wonder what Sarah's been up to," or "Tom looks like he has a great story to tell." By turning your mental spotlight outward, you take the pressure off yourself and immediately become more present and observant. This is the foundation upon which all genuine connection is built. You stop performing and start participating. And trust me, people notice the difference. Now that we've stepped out of our own spotlight, let's talk about where to shine it. The most powerful tool in your social toolkit is curiosity. I'm not talking about interrogating someone, but about cultivating a genuine interest in who they are. The easiest way to do this is by asking open-ended questions. Instead of, "Did you have a good weekend?" which gets a yes or no, try, "What was the highlight of your weekend?" See the difference? The first is a closed door. The second is an open invitation. Questions that start with what, how, or even a simple, "Tell me about." Invite people to share their stories, their passions, their perspectives. When you ask someone, "What's something you're really excited about right now?" you're not just making small talk. You're giving them a platform to talk about what truly lights them up. And guess what? People love talking about what they love. When you provide that opportunity, they associate that positive feeling with you. You become the person who makes them feel interesting and heard. That's a powerful connection, and all it took was a little bit of genuine curiosity. Okay, so you've asked a great open-ended question. What's next? This is where many people drop the ball. The next step is active listening. This sounds simple, but it's a skill that requires practice. Active listening isn't just waiting for your turn to talk. It's about truly absorbing what the other person is saying, both with their words and their body language. Here's a practical technique. Listen to understand, not just to reply. When someone is talking, your only goal is to understand their point of view. A great way to show you're doing this is by offering small verbal and nonverbal cues. A nod, a simple mm-hmm, or oh, interesting. These little signals say, "I'm with you, keep going." Then you can use a technique called mirroring or reflecting. This is when you paraphrase what they just said back to them. For example, if your friend says, "I'm just so overwhelmed with this new project at work, the deadline is crazy," you could respond with, "Wow, it sounds like the pressure is really getting to you." This does two amazing things. First, it confirms to them that you were actually listening. Second, it makes them feel deeply understood. You're not trying to solve their problem or one-up their story. You're simply holding a mirror up to their feelings. This validation is one of the most powerful gifts you can give someone, and it builds an incredible bond of trust and affection effortlessly. Now, let's talk about a subtle but incredibly effective concept from psychology known as the Ben Franklin effect. The story goes that Ben Franklin wanted to win over a rival legislator. Instead of doing the rival a favor, he asked the rival for a favor to borrow a rare book. The rival, surprised but flattered, lent him the book. From that point on, their relationship improved dramatically. The psychology behind this is called cognitive dissonance. Our brains like for our actions and our beliefs to be aligned. If that rival lent Franklin a book, his brain reasons, I must like Ben Franklin because we do favors for people we like. It's a fascinating bit of mental gymnastics. How can you use this without being manipulative? Ask for small, low-stakes help. For example, hey, could you watch my bag for a second while I grab a coffee? Or, you have a great eye for this stuff. Which one of these do you think looks better? When someone helps you, even in a tiny way, their brain subconsciously registers you as someone they are on good terms with. It's a small investment on their part that creates a psychological bond. The key is to keep it small and genuine. Don't ask for a huge favor from a stranger, but a simple request can subtly and effectively shift the dynamic of a relationship in a positive direction. So we've covered taking the pressure off yourself, being curious, listening actively, and even the Ben Franklin effect. But there's one more piece of the puzzle that ties it all together: vulnerability. Now, hold on. This doesn't mean oversharing your deepest secrets with everyone you meet. That can actually have the opposite effect. Strategic, appropriate vulnerability is about sharing a small, relatable imperfection or a minor struggle. It's about being human. Think about it. We don't connect with perfect, flawless people. We connect with people who are real. When someone asks you how your day was, instead of the standard, fine you could try something like, it was actually a bit of a whirlwind. I totally spilled coffee on my shirt this morning, but it got better from there. How about you? It's small, it's relatable, and it instantly makes you more approachable. By sharing a minor flaw, you signal to the other person, it's safe to be imperfect around me. This gives them permission to let their own guard down. You're not trying to impress them with your perfection. You're connecting with them through your shared humanity. It's a subtle shift from a presentation to a conversation between two equals. This kind of authenticity is magnetic. People are drawn to those who are comfortable enough in their own skin to admit they are not perfect. So let's recap this no-try method to being liked. It all starts with turning the spotlight off yourself and onto others. Get genuinely curious and ask open-ended questions that invite people to share their world with you. Then listen actively, not to respond, but to understand, using little reflections to show them they're truly being heard. You can even leverage the Ben Franklin effect by asking for a small favor, allowing others to invest in the relationship. And finally, tie it all together with a dash of appropriate vulnerability, showing that you're a real, relatable human being, not a perfect robot. Notice a pattern here? None of these techniques are about you. They're not about crafting the perfect, witty remark or having the most impressive story. They are all about making the other person feel good, making them feel seen, heard, interesting, and understood. When you focus on giving that experience to others, something amazing happens. People don't just like you. They feel a genuine connection with you. The most beautiful part of this entire approach is that it's not a trick you perform. It's a mindset you adopt. It's about becoming a more curious, empathetic, and authentic person. And when you become that person, being liked isn't something you have to try for anymore. It just happens. It becomes a natural byproduct of who you are. So I challenge you to try it. The next time you're in a conversation, pick just one of these ideas. Maybe just focus on asking one great open-ended question and truly listening to the answer. See how it feels. See how the other person responds. You might be surprised at how such a small shift can create such a big connection. Thank you so much for spending this time with me today. I hope you found these ideas as fascinating and helpful as I have. If you did, a like on the video would be amazing, and consider subscribing for more insights into the psychology of connection. Go out there and start connecting. See you in the next one.